welcome back to Miss Jones TV for another lesson with me today. Guys, I hope you tuned in yesterday and did the lessons with me. I got a lot of your assignments back and I checked over them and gave you some feedback on those. We're also going to check those together here in just a minute. But before we get started, we have to do joke time. Right, Mr. Jones?
Right.
They can't see you. Over. There we are. Okay, Mr. Jones, what did the ocean say to the beach?
I don't know what.
Nothing. It waved.
Oh my gosh.
You liked it.
I loved it.
I know, Luna did too. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and get started with today's lesson. We're going to start with math. So again, get everything that you need out. We're going to do our Go Math book, the second one, the volume 2 again. We're going to have your Reader's Notebook volume 2 out, your hardback reader, and anything that you need to write with or to do your stuff with, okay? So let's get started. We're going to do some money. You like that, didn't you, Mr. Jones?
Oh, I loved it.
Uh-huh.
Do it more often.
I'm sure.
Every time you go out.
Every day. Okay, guys, so here is our money from Mr. Jones' stash. We have 5 coins. Shh, it's okay. I'm going to give you some time to look at the coins and to add them up on your own to see if you can get it before we do it together. Okay, again, if you need to pause this video at any time, you can to do your assignment and then come back with me, okay? Now, the first one we know is that Big Mama Jamma. We have 3 that are the same in the middle. And then we have our itty bitty guy right over here. Okay, so the first one, of course, is a quarter, and it's worth 25 cents. The 3 in the middle, even though they're small, they're mighty. They're dimes, and they're worth 10 cents. And the little guy on the end here, he's a penny, and he is worth 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our values, and we're going to add them up. So I have my 25, my 3 10s, and my 0 1. Plus sign off to the side, out of the way, just like that. Okay, so we start with our ones place. I have 5 plus 1 is 6. And then on our other side, we have 2, and then we're going to count by ones, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like we have 56 cents. And you add your dollar sign, your 0, and your decimal. Great job, guys. If you got that, give me an air high five. Good job. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on in our Go Math book. Yesterday, you guys did 510 and 511. So let's go ahead and check those out real quick to see how you did. Some of you sent them in to me and I went ahead and checked them and gave them back to you. But if you didn't have an opportunity to do that, let's do that together, okay? So on page 510, we did the first 2 together yesterday. So we have number 3 left to do on page 510. And my book is not wanting to cooperate, so I'll try to make it as straight as I can. Okay, remember, little hand first, find the hour. So I see that my little hand is in between the 3 and the 4. And I know that whatever number it just passed is the hour. So it looks like it's a half past 3. So I look at my big hand and it's pointed towards the 6. And if I count by 5s around my clock, I know what number it is. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So it looks like it is 3 30. So I'm going to go ahead and put my time with my colon. So it looks like it is a 3:30 or 3:30. Okay? On the other page, guys, you were to do the top part telling the time, and then the bottom you were actually to draw the hands yourself, okay? So let's look at number 1 together, okay? On number 1, well, actually it's number 4. Little hand first, find the hour. So it looks like it just went past the 9, and my big hand is on the 6. So a 9:30 or 9:30. You learning time, Mr. Jones?
I am. I'm learning all kinds of knowledge.
I know.
Knowledge is great.
Knowledge is power. So number 4 is 9:30. If you got that right, give yourself a big old check mark. If not, that's okay. We're still learning, okay? Okay, so we're going to go to number 5. Again, it looks like I see that it's a 12 because it's almost at that 1, right? So the big hand is pointed towards the 6, and if I count by 5s, I get 30. So I see that it is 12:30. So if you got that one, give yourself a big old check mark. If not, that's okay. We have another page today that we're going to practice these, okay? So on number 6, this can be super tricky. Little hand first to find the hour, guys. Now, if I look over here and I see that my hour hand is pointed towards the 6, that could be tricky because it could make me think that it's a 1/2 But the big hand is pointed straight up on that 12. So that means it's 6 o'clock. If you didn't let that one trick you, and if you got this, say, I got this. 6 o'clock. Okay. Now, on number 7, little hand first, find the hour. It's pointing smack dab on that 4. The big hand is at the 12, and I know that that would be 4 o'clock. So make sure you're giving yourself check marks if you're getting these right. Okay, on the next one, I see that my little hand is in between the 11 and 12. So it's a 11:30 or 11:30. Give yourself a check mark if you got that right. Okay, the last one at the top, I see that it's in between the 5 and the 6, a 5:30 or 5:30. Great job, guys. So last video, we did this one together and we drew the 7:30. Well, now we need to make sure that that clock says 5 o'clock. Little hand first, find the hour. So I need to make my little hand and point it towards the 5 as best as I can. Now, where do I need to put my big hand to make it show o'clock? Pointing towards the 12. Great job. So this one, if I make my big hand straight up towards that 12. Okay, the last one, little hand first, find the hour. So my little hand needs to be pointing towards that first number that it shows, which is an 11. So the best that I can, I'm going to make a little hand pointing towards the 11. And then your big hand goes straight up top to the 12. I know you guys are doing awesome. For 11 o'clock. If you got most of those right, give me an air high five. Good job. Okay, so today, guys, what you're going to do for your math assignment that we'll check tomorrow is you're going to turn with me to page 513. And I just want you to do the front, 513. So on page 513, just like we did together, you are going to be telling me the time that are on these clocks, okay? In the middle, where it says problem solving, you're going to show the time that they ask you. And at the bottom, it's going to ask you to draw your own clock. So just do the best that you can and take your time so I can read your work, okay? So after you finish page 513, you can send me a picture on Remind if you can. And if not, just tune in with me tomorrow and we'll check this page together to see how well you did, okay? All right, guys. Now, if you want to pause this video right now and go ahead and do page 513, that's awesome. I'll still be here whenever you push on pause. Okay? Cool. All right. If you're still going along with me, though, we're going to put our math to the side. And we are going to get our reader's notebook, or what Miss Jones likes to call it, our flimsy book, because they're flimsy. Yeah, it's fun to do. Okay, so in our flimsy book today, we're going to be on page 20. 20. Okay, so if you'll join me on page 20, and I'll give you some directions. Okay, yesterday we learned that when we have a sentence and what we're talking about, the person, place, or thing, the noun, doesn't have an S, you need one. But if it does have an S, you don't need one. And then sometimes we have oddballs and we need to think about, are we talking about one thing or are we talking about more than one thing? Because we need to figure out if it needs an S or if it doesn't, or verb. And a verb is what? An action. When I say verb, you say action. Verb. Verb. When I say action, you say verb. Action. Action. Good job. Mr. Jones is looking at me right now like I'm crazy, but it's okay. All right. Anyway, so the first one, the girl watches. Girl is what we're talking about or who we're talking about. So it's our noun. It doesn't have an S. So that means that our verb needs one. The second sentence, the girls watch. Well, I know if I put in the S on the end of girl, it makes more than one. So I have an S, I don't need one again. At the bottom, the cat and dog eat. Cat is one animal. Dog is two animals. So that makes more than one. So I don't need my S, okay? So we're gonna take a look together on page 20 and see if we can figure out which ones need an S and which ones don't need the S, okay? Let me get my book situated here. I'm going to pick you up for just a second so I can show you something a little bit closer, okay? All right, here we go. Now, our directions say, draw a line under each correct sentence. So we've got to figure out which one is correct. On number 1, the coach fixed the skates. The coach fixes the skates. Well, let's look at our noun, who we're talking about. Who are we talking about in this sentence? The coach. Does coach have an S on the end of it? Is it one coach or more than one coach? Just one. I don't have an S. So that means I need one. So let's see. The coach fix. Fix doesn't have the S. The coach fixes the skates. That one has the S. Okay, let's do one more together, and then I'll give you some time to do the others on your own. The kids dash around the rink. The kids dashes around the rink. Well, let's look at our noun. Who are we talking about in this sentence? Kids. I see that it has an S, and I know that that tells me more than one. So I already have an S. Do you need an S again? Nope. So we got to figure out which one doesn't have it. The kids dash around the rink. That one's the first option this time. Guys, go ahead and do 3, 4, and 5 on your own. Again, if you need to pause the video, you can. And I will still be here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go on to 3, 4, and 5. 3, the teacher teaches them a trick. The teacher teach them a trick. I see teacher. It doesn't have an S, so that means I need one. Teacher is just one. Number 4, Dad misses a turn. Dad miss a turn. Dad is one person. He doesn't have an S, so that means I need one. Number 5, Mom watch from the stands. Mom watches from the stands. Okay, I know Mom is one person. I don't have an S, so I need an S, and it looks like that second option gives me what I need. How'd we do? I'm sure you did awesome. Mr. Jones, you do okay? Oh, good, good. Okay, so guys, you can go ahead and close your flimsy books and put those to the side for right now. And now you're going to need your piece of paper or your dry erase board and marker, whatever it is that you're using, because we're going to look at 5 more of those long I words, and we're going to put them in ABC order using our cursive handwriting. Okay, so today we're looking at some new words that we didn't use yesterday. I really liked seeing your all scavenger hunt pictures too. Those were really cool. I tried to post some of those on Facebook. All right. So we have 5 more words. And I know that an I can have a superhero cape and he can say I. He has this superpower, he can say himself. I know that IGH can say I. We have another one of those. I on its own. And then sometimes when Y's on the end, it can steal that I's identity and make it say I. Okay, so guys, let's read these words together. Sound, I. Word, find. Sound, I. Word, write. Sound, I. Word, high. Sound, I. Word, wild. Sound, I. Word, July. Very good. So right now what we need to do is we need to figure out how to put these in ABC order. Well, let's start with A. Do you see any A words? I don't either. So let's sing our ABCs and see if we can hit one, okay? A, B, C, D, E, F. Oh, there's one, an F. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna write it in cursive. So if you need to go back in your cursive handwriting book and see it, you may. Take your time when you're doing your cursive. Like I said, even if you need to pause it and do that. So we were on F. E, F, Mr. Jones, what comes after F? You're so good. G. I don't see any G's. H. There's one. Hi. Now this one isn't like hi as in hello. This one is like hi, like a kite flies high up in the sky. H, I, J. There's the J. So this one for July, that is a proper noun. So that means that we have to stand up straight like a capital letter. And we have to make sure that we capitalize the J in July. You liked that, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Yep, I can tell. So I'm going to make a capital J in cursive for my July. Okay? All right. So I have 2 words left, and I need to figure out which comes next. H-I-J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. There we go. We have our R word. Right. And last but not least, guys, our last word is wild. So I need to put wild just like that. And like I said, if you have to, pause it, take your time, form those letters, and try to make them as straight as you can, okay? Because practice makes perfect. We got to take our time when we do our cursive, don't we? Okay? Great job, guys. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to our hardback reader today. Luke Goes to Bat. Okay? Now, our skill this week is sequencing. And sequencing means to put things in order. For example, if I told you about my morning routine before all this stuff and I'm getting ready for work in the morning, okay? So let's just pretend you get up, you come to school, you brush your teeth and get dressed. Does that sound right? No, you don't go to school and brush your teeth. You have to brush your teeth, get dressed, and then go to school. So when we put things in a sequence or an order, it helps things make sense to us. Because if they're out of order, it sounds pretty silly and it doesn't make any sense. Just like getting up, going to school, and then brushing your teeth. We've got to do it in the right order. So after we read our Luke Goes to Bat today, we are going to put 3 things that happened in the story in order, okay? Now, I'm going to ask you to do something extremely strange. And Mr. Jones, I'm going to need your help for a second because I forgot to get one from the kitchen. We are going to track the print today using a fork. So, if you have a fork, have an adult get you one. I need a fork. I have a plastic fork right here. And we're going to track the print today with me using our forks. So if you have an adult and you're watching this video, have them take a picture of you tracking the print with your handy dandy fork, and I will post you on Facebook and make you Facebook famous for our brush fork group, okay? So I'm going to get my book ready. Luke Goes to Bat, and I'm going to use my fork to track the print. Luke Goes to Bat by Rachel Isadora. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to hold this up and track with my fork at the same time. I'm sure you'll do better at home. Okay. It was Brooklyn. It was summer. It was baseball. All day long, the kids on Bedford Avenue played stickball in the streets, except for Luke. Now, stickball, guys, is just like baseball, but they didn't have a bat to use, so they probably just used a stick or something that they had handy with them. When you're older, his big brother, Nicky, told him, just a squirt, one of the other kids said, laughing. So Luke watched the games from the curb, and then he'd practice. He threw a ball against the wall next to the deli. He practiced his swing over and over again. He ran as fast as he could up and down the block. He wanted to be ready when it was time. He's trying to get ready to be a good player. And at night, whenever the Dodgers were playing, Luke hurried up to the roof where he could see the lights of Ebbets Field. When he heard the crowd go wild, he imagined his favorite player, Jackie Robinson, had hit a home run. Someday, Luke thought, I will hit a home run too. So he was imagining that, wasn't he? Because remember, on this page, it shows you an illustration of what he's imagining in his head that looks like. Finally, one morning, the team was short a player. Frankie had to go to his aunt's. Who we gonna get? Hey, said Luke, what about me? Everyone was quiet. Oh, come on, said his brother. Give him a chance. We got nobody else. He better not mess up. They put him in left field. No balls came his way, so he just stood there. When it was his turn up at bat, Luke took a few practice swings, then stepped up to the plate. Oh, show 'em, Luke muttered. The ball whizzed past. Strike one! Luke held the bat higher. Strike two! Luke was barely in position when the next ball flew past and the catcher yelled, out! I'm sure he wasn't too happy about that. You stink, Luke heard. That wasn't very nice, was it? He got up to bat one more time, but struck out again. Sometimes it just goes that way, his brother told him. Frankie came back in the afternoon, so Luke spent the rest of the day on the curb. He was sure they'd never let him play again. Grandma was in the kitchen when he got home. I finally got a chance to play with the team, Luke told her. Grandma could tell that the game hadn't gone well. Not everyone plays like Jackie Robinson all the time, she said. Not even Jackie Robinson. Luke didn't smile. By the way, Grandma said, are you doing anything tomorrow night? Luke shrugged. Well, if you're so busy, someone else will have to go with me to the game at Ebbets Field. What? You mean a real game? Grandma held up 2 tickets. Remember, not everybody plays like Jackie Robinson. Means everybody has an off day, right? All right. Ebbets Field was ablaze with lights, but this time, Luke didn't have to imagine the game. Thanks for taking me, Grandma, he said. They watched the Dodgers and Phillies battle it out. The game went into extra innings. By the time the Dodgers got up to bat in the bottom of the 14th inning, the score was still tied 8-8. With 2 outs, Jackie Robinson was up. The crowd roared. Come on, Jackie, Luke yelled. The pitcher threw a curveball. Jackie swung. Strike one, the umpire called. The pitcher wound up. He threw a fastball and Jackie missed. Strike two! 3 balls followed. All eyes at Ebbets Field rested on Jackie. The Dodgers could still win. Luke shouted with the crowd, Give it to 'em, Jackie! You show 'em! Jackie looked around from under his cap, then dug his feet into the dirt. The pitcher began his wind-up. You can do it, Jackie, Luke whispered. "You can do it." Suddenly, Luke heard the loud crack of a bat. When he looked up, the ball was flying over his head, flying over the scoreboard, flying over the walls of Ebbets Field. The crowd went wild. Luke stood up in his seat and cheered. "You showed 'em, Jackie." "What a game," Grandma said. "See, you can't give up. Even Jackie Robinson's got to keep trying." Luke didn't answer. He was thinking about it. When Luke got home, he ran up to the roof. The lights were going out at Ebbets Field. "Come on down, it's bedtime," Nicky called. Just then, Luke saw a ball lying on the ground. "Look," he said, picking it up. "This is the home run ball that Jackie Robinson hit tonight." "No, that's just some old ball a kid hit up on the roof," Nick said, laughing, as he went downstairs. Remember, he was kind of pretending that was the ball, right? And that's when Luke saw him. It was Jackie Robinson himself. "I hit that one for you, kid." Before Luke could say a word, Jackie ran to the dugout to join the other Dodgers. But he looked back one more time. He was using his imagination to see him at the top of the roof, wasn't he? He was just pretending. "Hey, kid," he said, "your grandma was right. You can't give up." "Thanks, Mr. Robinson." The final lights went out at Ebbets Field. Luke looked down at the winning ball and smiled. "I won't," he whispered to himself. And he didn't. So he didn't give up, did he, guys? Okay, so our last little activity that I wanted to do with you is we have 3 things that happen in this story. And just like I told you before, we have to put them in order so they make sense in the story. So my first sentence right here says, Luke saw Jackie Robinson on the roof. Next one. Luke watched the boys play games from the curb. Luke stood up in his seat and yelled, "You showed 'em, Jackie!" We need to put a number beside the sentence showing which one happened first. If you think number 1 happened first, hold up a number 1. If you think number 2 happened first, hold up a number 2. If you think number 3 happened first, hold up a number 3. Go for it. If you held up a number 2, you are correct. Give me an air high five. Luke watched the boys play games from the curb. Remember, that was at the very beginning of our story. So I'm going to put the number 1 because this is what happened first. Okay, so we've got 2 other sentences here. Luke saw Jackie Robinson on the roof. Luke stood up in his seat and yelled, "You showed 'em, Jackie." If you think number 1 happened, hold up a number 1. If you think 3 happened, hold up a number 3. If you held up a number 3, you are correct because he went to the game before he ever talked to Jackie Robinson or gave him that pep talk, right? So I'm going to put a number 2 and a 3 up top. So I have 3, 1, 2 today. Okay, great job, guys. And thank you for following along with your forks. That was good too. Okay, I can't wait to see your pictures whenever you do that tomorrow, whenever I check it again. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you've enjoyed doing your lessons with me today, and tune in again tomorrow. I try to make the lesson the night before so I can have it posted for any early birds that want to do it, and whether if this is good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Thanks for watching Miss Jones TV. Tune in again next time. Bye, guys.